Welcome back, Candle Boys. Today we're covering my level 999 infinite unlimited gacha, and I got Backstabbed. These names.
Ooh, did they add that in the name?
Yes, I didn't read that until after the fact. Because remember, we were sitting there like, why is he trusting these people? But if we had read the title, we would have seen this coming.
Okay.
Hey, look, man, this one isn't even actually isekai, but the title makes it feel like one. Especially considering his powers. This dude, he gets born into a regular family, like out in the sticks, you know what I'm saying? And he like pretty much comes of age. I think he's like 14 or something like that. And he's like, hey man, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna become an adventurer and I'm gonna get famous and feed my family. Honestly, good for you, man.
It's a good story to have, man.
Exactly.
You know
I wasn't mad at it. You feel me? Thing is, this man's got an ability called infinite gacha. I'm sitting here like, y'all got no tech. This is a medieval world, and you don't seem to be an isekai protagonist.
But
why you got gacha powers?
But I'm saying unlimited gacha sounds so broken, even at a surface level. Like just seeing the name itself.
No, 100%.
That sounds so broken. But we just don't know exactly like how he can use it.
100%.
So then he goes to the guild. Of course, it's always a guild. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you compared it to what's that anime?
Bro, this gives me Don Machi vibes, but that's from later on though. In particular,
well, you even said it by the editing style when we first watched it. So that's why
because it's made by JC Staff.
Okay, that's why.
So JC Staff makes Don Machi, and I was like, the way they built the characters, I'm like, this really feels like I'm watching Don Machi.
That makes sense.
It's like a same type of environment. They've got humans, elves, like all these different races. I'm like, it's
very similar. Okay, he's at the guild. And then he was like trying to show off his like gacha power so he can see what rank he's gonna be. His gacha power gave him a rotten apple, some rotten bread, and a bent fork. She said, "You know what? F- is good for you. Bro. Not even an F, an F-."
I was gonna say, I know she was sitting there looking like, man, I shouldn't even offer an F for you. Like, you a civilian.
An F-? Nah,
he's good.
That one hurt, man.
I don't blame him though, or her rather, because honestly, especially based off what we find about his powers later on, he's probably been using his powers like his whole life. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And he's never pulled nothing good.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say that though, because he said it's usually not like this. Is what he said. So maybe in different locations, like he said, when we find out later.
Yeah,
but I think
maybe in his hometown there's better mana, so he was pulling decent stuff over there.
Exactly. So that's why where he was at in that moment, he was just pulling crap,
straight moldy stuff.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, man. But his power did seem pretty interesting, right? Because like he materializes a card, and then whatever's on the card like comes into reality. So that already looks a little crazy. You know what I'm saying? But sadly, because of his poor performance, this man was doing straight manual labor, bro. They had him picking up logs, rocks, digging. I was like,
there was no way that's an F- work.
No, that's just a 9 to 5. This ain't adventuring. You could have done that in the countryside. You feel me?
Doing him dirty with that one.
And so by the end of the day, bro, like he has like a whole like bag, but it's a bag full of like pennies essentially. He's like, man, this is barely enough to get somewhere to stay for the night. And so he's a little bit sad about it. He was to the point where he was like, well, hopefully my gacha at least throws some food I can eat.
Another rotten apple you're about to get.
You gonna have to eat that?
Yeah, nah.
So he was really down on his luck, man. But in this world, apparently racism is not just alive and well, man. It's thriving. Because some like wolf, like demi-humans, like see him and they see the little bit of pouch he got. And they're like, oh, it's a human? He looks lame as hell, bro. So they bump into him on purpose. He falls into this mud puddle. And they're like, oh, you got my stuff dirty, man. How you gonna pay it back? And they straight take his money. So now this man broke, got nowhere to stay. And all his hard-earned money got stolen because he's a human. And mind you, everybody else see this happen. They walking by, not even trying to help him or nothing. They're like, a human.
Yeah, bro, they doing it dirty.
Like, yo, humans at the bottom of the totem pole in this world?
I guess so.
It's crazy. Crazy as hell. But you know how it goes, man. As soon as that happened, all of a sudden, this nice little elf girl pull up on him. And she was like, oh, hey. Like, how you doing? Let me help you up. And he's like, am I dreaming? You are.
That part that threw me off though is because the wolf guy or whatever, he like knocked him, took his money and everything, but he was standing with the elf girl that like
that was a different wolf guy.
Okay, because it looked weird. That's why I was confused. I didn't know.
There were two different. It was design was similar, but it was two different wolf dudes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
and so he ends up running into this elf girl and her party, and their party is comprised of literally almost one of every individual race, right? And she was like, "Hey, like, our party is like the most diverse party, and like we've been given a special mission to make sure that like we bring all the races together to create a fair and just world. So he's just sitting here like, yo, this is so amazing, right? And she's
it does sound amazing.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, maybe they're just gonna be nice to him and then move on. They're like, no, we actually want you to be part of our party. That's when I knew. Like I said, mind you, we didn't know we didn't read the full title of this boy. So I was like, why would y'all want him out of all the humans? I'm like, unless every human is just ass. I'm like, this guy seems like he's the ass of the ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would y'all fake him to join the party? You know, especially since everybody else in the party looks somewhat cold or competent.
They, you know, but they knew what they was doing. Bro, let's be for real here.
Exactly.
But first of all, I thought though they was about to literally like take care of him, get him some food for the night, and then. But the next thing I know, they're in like a dungeon right after.
I think they did take care of him for a little bit though.
Oh, okay. Because I don't think I saw that.
No, yes, they kind of skipped over it, but you can tell based on how they're talking, like he's been traveling with them for a while. So they did make sure, like at least for that day or a couple weeks, like he was good, right? But at this point, man, they end up taking him to this dungeon. He's essentially like the pack mule, right? He just carried most of their stuff. So and he has a sword, but he ain't even like that. So they're low-key always just backpacking him through whatever like experience. But this is the first time they went into like an extremely dangerous like dungeon, right? So they take him into this dungeon, man, and the little elf girl's over here like watching out for him, and so is the dragon guy, right? And at the end, they're like, oh, like we always see the elf girl always like harping over you, like she's in love with you type of shit, right? And like I said, I'm still sitting here like, if you know he's this weak, why you bring him into the most dangerous dungeon in the world?
Something not right.
Yeah, like I would just leave him at the crib, you know what I'm saying? So he gets nice enough to be in here. But hey, like I said, everything in me, my anime senses were like, you're about to get cooked, brother.
Facts.
And so they get to a certain point, man, where there's like pretty much no way out. There's only like one way in or out of that spot, and they're like immediately their attitudes switch. So from the beginning of this dungeon trip, they already planned to pack him up in here, bro. And we end up finding out that their main mission actually was to investigate his powers, because their like higher ups had told them like to take him, and if he was like this something they call a maestro, right? Then they were going to actually continue still being nice to him, and he was actually going to get the elf girl for real against her will. You know what I'm saying? But they ended up like pretty much deeming his powers useless, but just in case, they're like, we got to kill him just to make sure. And so at this point, he's sitting here like, for what?
Bro, they started talking so much crap, bro.
Oh,
the elf girl was like, bro, you disgusting, man.
I can't believe I had to pretend. I might have had to marry your nasty ass.
Yeah, I was sitting there like, and the other guy was like, hey, man, and you stink on top of that.
Nah, but demon dude. He had his little wing up.
Bro, I was like, oh, no, that's disrespectful, dog.
Bro,
they ain't about to do me like that.
Crazy. That was racist as hell.
No, facts.
They wasn't even talking about just him as a person. They was like, yo, race just stank.
And then the wolf guy's like, you know what? Let's start packing him up. Slices him on his face a couple times.
Yep.
So I'm sitting here like, nah. So then he starts to make a run for it. And the elf girl's like, you ain't going nowhere, buddy.
Shot him in the hamstring.
Bro, that arrow went right through
straight through his quad, bro. Oh, like,
normal people die from that.
I ain't gonna lie, so that might cook you.
You're human.
Normal people die from that. You take that arrow out, you're bleeding out, brother. So yeah, he's just cooked on the ground, man. And he ends up like trying to crawl away. And while he's crawling away, their Loki is still just like gloating and enjoying his downfall. And I'm just sitting here like, honestly, like y'all are a bunch of strong cold adventurers. Like, why y'all even doing all this? He's literally like a level 1 essentially at this point in the story, you know? There's no point in like whooping on him this hard. I would have just Loki, like you said, like just leave him in the dungeon.
Yeah,
you're not making it back out.
Yeah,
anything in there gonna kill him. But they were like, no, we gotta finish the job. And I was like, that's just diabolical. And so he starts crawling away a little bit. Wolf dude is like kind of the one who's about to go finish him. And he ends up touching like a little like portal thing, and like a little magical circle opens up on the ground, and they're like, oh crap, a teleportation trap. And before the wolf dude can jump in there and finish him, he's gone. And so they're like, dang, that must have teleported him deeper into the dungeon. So in my head, I was like,
he's good.
Oh yeah, he's really good.
That was really good.
But mind you, I thought he was gonna like use his gacha moves like before he was about to get packed up there, but I guess he was just too much in fight or flight.
Yeah, there was too much going on, bro.
Yeah, he was getting heartbroken, man.
Yeah. Got betrayed, slashed. shot in the leg. Like, in my mind, I'm not thinking of that right there. I'm just trying to get out of there, man. Like
I said, it looked bad.
You see, you getting jumped, you got to get out of there,
bro. And so he ends up in this like cavern, some unknown location inside of the abyss, right? And he's just sitting there like, I ain't even gonna lie. If I ever get up out of here, I'm killing all of them. And I was like,
good mindset to have.
Valid crash out. Y'all might have just turned him into the most racist human on this planet. Facts. He gonna go wipe out each of y'all's races. I don't think he's actually that evil yet. But he definitely was like, man, I don't care what I gotta do, what I gotta sacrifice. I will kill y'all if I see y'all again.
He said, yep, not dying here, buddy.
Bro,
I'm gonna find y'all.
Right before he could even start thinking about what he needed to do, man, a big old monster, a hellhound, we find out, pulls up in front of him. And I'm just sitting here like, yeah, it's not looking good. And then they show the level, and it was 1,000. And he said, I've never even seen this in a fairy tale.
Nah, he said, those are the type of ones you see in the books.
Bro.
I was like,
he said, no one's ever seen this. I was like, you might be good.
Yeah, you're the only one to see that, buddy. I don't think everybody goes, like, nobody goes down that far in the abyss ever.
I don't think so. I don't think so, bro.
Yeah. That thing was a level 1,000.
And we don't know what the levels of everybody else was, but I'm assuming it wasn't that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Near what that was, yeah.
And so as soon as he sees that, he's like, dang, it really might be over for me, but I can't die here. So he does his gacha one last time. But we've seen him use it a couple times. And normally whenever he does a little spin, it's like a bad animation, but this time he gets a special animation.
Yeah, I was like, it like expanded.
Oh yeah,
and everything. I was sitting there like, oh,
and then a big magic circle like opens up next to him. Right when this is happening, the hellhound like sends something, and he was like, I gotta kill him right now. But he explodes.
A naked woman.
A woman comes out. I hate anime sometimes. You're right. She didn't start up naked. They didn't have to have her.
Bro, they did.
Her boobs pointing to the ceiling either. Bro, that was just a little crazy.
That was OD for that.
But hey,
OD for that, bro.
You know they're gonna get it off at least one time, man. Just how they do it in Japan. And this girl pulls up, and this is where I was like, all right, this is really just Danmachi for real, because she has the exact. She's like a maid, but like her outfit and like design is almost 1-to-1.
The colorway was the same.
Yeah, like bar for bar.
Yeah, it was pretty similar. I won't lie.
I
haven't even seen it, and you showed me a reference, and I was like, oh, all right. All right.
Crazy work.
They just switched the main character hairstyle from white to black.
Straight up.
So
that's the big difference.
And then instead of red eyes, they gave me yellow eyes.
That's it.
I don't know, man.
That's all I'm saying. No slander, just an observation. You feel me? But Homegirl is level 9999.
Yeah, cooked.
Huh?
But that makes total sense now because he's at the bottom of the abyss, right?
Yeah. So, because she ends up appraising his skill, right? And she was like, she made up like a whole story for it, which is kind of funny. She was like, oh wow, like your ability works better the more mana is around you, right? So you're really so brave. You went all the way to the bottom of this abyss where there's a ton of mana so that you could summon me. And she was like, you think I did this on purpose?
He told her the truth though. He said, hey man, I came down here and my so-called friends betrayed me and packed me up. And now I need to kill him.
Now we want to kill him.
And she said, wait, they tried to kill you? Oh nah.
She said, I can go up there right now and finish him. I was like,
which she could have.
I ain't gonna lie, that's actually really terrifying because her eyes, they narrowed, like you had that dark look on her face. And I was sitting there like, if people haven't really seen the level 1000 thing before, she's a nuke.
Yeah, it's over with, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And I already thought that was OD. And he was just like, nah, like you don't got to do it right now, but like I'm gonna build up a kingdom. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, I'm gonna build up a kingdom in order to get this done. And next thing you know, the episode ends with him just summoning down there with hella mana. And I was just like,
mind you, he sat down there for 3 years planning this whole thing with his kingdom, right? I'm sitting here like the fact that he could have went up and got them packed up earlier
right away.
He wanted them to enjoy their lives for another 3 years before he decided to make something happen. Nah.
Because this is where it gets OD, okay? Because honestly, first episode, peak. If I had to rate it, first episode was a 10 out of 10. I was like, this is gas. I can't wait to see it. Second episode starts off peak. Gets a little wishy.